Rain tapped against the tall windows of the mansion as Elena wiped the baby's face with a soft cloth. The billionaire, Mr. Graham, had already left for his morning meeting, and his wife, Victoria, sat by the piano scrolling through her phone, barely noticing the world around her. Elena loved the baby like her own, maybe too much. She was gentle, patient, and quiet. Everyone in the house said she had the heart of a mother. Nobody knew how true those words were. That morning, while rocking the baby, Elena felt a soft kick from within her own belly. Her face froze. She was 3 months pregnant. And the father was Mr. Graham. As she hummed to calm herself, Victoria's voice broke the air. "Elena, why do you look so pale? You're not sick, are you?" Elena smiled faintly. "Just tired, ma'am." But deep inside she knew this secret would not stay hidden for long. And when it surfaced, it would shatter lives in ways none of them could ever imagine. The mansion was quiet, except for the soft hum of the air conditioning and the faint clicking of Victoria's heels echoing down the hallway. She paused outside the nursery where Elena's lullaby floated gently through the door, a song Victoria herself once sang to her child. Her face tightened. Why does that sound so intimate? That afternoon, whispers began among the house staff. "Did you notice how Mr. Graham looks at her?" one maid murmured near the laundry room. Another chuckled nervously. "It's not just the look. He's too kind. He's never that way with Mrs. Graham." Victoria overheard just enough to feel a chill. She walked away, heart pounding, pretending not to care, but that night she couldn't sleep. She replayed every small gesture, the way Elena smiled when Graham entered, how the baby reached for her more than for his own mother. The next morning, Victoria called her assistant. "Install cameras in the nursery," she said calmly. "For the baby's safety." But deep down it wasn't safety she wanted, it was truth. And the truth was about to unravel every carefully guarded secret in that house. 2 days later, Victoria sat in her dressing room, her reflection cold in the mirror. The footage from the new cameras played on her phone. Elena feeding the baby, humming softly, wiping away a tear when she thought no one was watching. There was no sin in it, only love. Yet Victoria's jealousy twisted what she saw into something unbearable. When Graham returned from his trip, he found his wife waiting in the living room, still and poised. "You've been gone too long," she said sharply. "Long enough for your nanny to make herself very comfortable." Graham frowned. "What are you talking about?" She tossed her phone onto the table. "Watch it. Tell me you see nothing wrong." He watched in silence, the quiet affection, the baby reaching for Elena, her tired smile. "She's just good with children," he said softly. But Victoria's voice trembled with rage. "You don't see it because you don't want to. She's carrying your child, isn't she?" Elena stood frozen in the doorway, her tray of tea shaking in her hands. The room fell silent. One truth had been spoken, and there was no way back. The morning light poured through the glass doors as Elena stood in the grand foyer, her suitcase trembling in her hands. Victoria's voice was sharp and final. "You will leave this house today, Elena. Take your things and go, before I call security." Elena's lips quivered. "Please, Mrs. Graham, let me explain. I never—" "Enough." Victoria snapped. "You betrayed my home, my family, my trust. You took advantage of my kindness." The staff stood silently by the staircase, some with pity in their eyes, others pretending not to see. The baby, cradled in another nanny's arms, began to cry softly. Elena turned toward the sound, her tears spilling freely. "He's just a baby," she whispered. "Please don't let him forget me." Victoria's face stiffened. "You lost that right the day you decided to cross the line." Mr. Graham stood behind his wife, pale and broken, his eyes meeting Elena's for a single aching moment. He wanted to speak, but fear held him still. And just like that, the door closed. Elena stepped into the cold morning air, carrying only her unborn child and the memory of the home that had turned its heart against her. 2 years passed. The mansion had grown silent, emptier than before. Victoria's laughter no longer filled its halls, and the baby, now a toddler, spoke Elena's name in his sleep. No one dared correct him. Mr. Graham sat alone in his study one evening, unable to escape the guilt that had shadowed him since that day. He opened an old envelope the security chief had mailed after retiring, a copy of the camera recordings. Trembling, he pressed play. The screen showed the truth, not betrayal but cruelty. The other nannies whispering lies, mocking Elena, forcing her to do their work while she carried his child. The final frame showed her wiping her tears as she quietly prayed for strength. The next morning, Graham found her. She lived in a small apartment, working at a daycare, her little girl coloring on the floor. He fell to his knees. "I was blind," he whispered. "Forgive me, please." Elena looked at him, her eyes soft but distant. "I already did. I just wanted peace." As the camera panned on that reunion, quiet, tender and full of grace, viewers saw what words never could: love's quiet victory over pain.